Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Women's Empowerment Series. It's such an honor to welcome Dr. Harbeen Arora Rai this morning, all the way from India. This is a series that we do where we present women leaders from all around the world working and doing amazing things to impact women empowerment and to make a difference in the world. So, welcome, Dr. Harbeen. You are my beloved sister, and from the other side of the world.
Thank you so much, my sister Hind, for your name means India also. So that's such a beautiful, lovely coincidence. And here I am. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to share about what we are doing and that you're a part of, an integral part of one of the platforms. I call them the five fingers. So one finger, which is the G100, which is made up of 100 global women leaders, each leading a wing, and you lead the wing of entrepreneurship, which is such an important lever of change and transformation and bringing parity and equality and empowerment to every woman. So we have to make sure that we mitigate the barriers and we enhance the opportunities for every woman everywhere to tap into the power of entrepreneurship and the economic independence that comes with it, and also the opportunity to make a difference in our communities by creating more jobs and doing things that we want to do that we think are going to make a better world for us all. So thank you for being part of the G100.
Oh my God, it's an honor for me. I think your mission is so noble, so honorable, and you lead in it with so much grace and so much knowledge. And we can only join hands to really work together so that we can make a difference around the about women around the world. So you mentioned five different wings, so five different things. So one is the wings. What are the other four others?
Yes, my sister, I've got a little notebook here to kind of show. So one is, of course, the G100, which we were just talking about. But G100 it is the most recent platform. It is an outcome of all the foundational work that we've been doing over a decade. And it all started with the ALL, which we call all, which has a three-letter philosophy, which means there's power and potential in all. And so together we can do it all, create opportunities for all. And this was an idea where we started making circles of sisterhood everywhere. This is where the idea of sisterhood as the uniting force, as the glue of the solidarity came about, and it's still as relevant. It's been our most abiding principle, the most animating principle of having she for she bonds and she for she champions. And that was 2011 when we started. And then this really became a platform for connecting emotionally, healing emotionally, helping each other, and just also help, instead of going to Google, we went to each other. Was
That's
far more
nice. I love
meaningful,
that.
And
And this,
we got into this wonderful good habit of doing so and developing these bonds and getting a bit into what we call like the men do. The men call up each other, the boys club as we call it, and they help each other and they don't hesitate to reach out and ask for help. I think this is what this did initially, made it easy and a healing force for us to reach out to each other, because sisterhood, no matter who you were, no matter what, it became this equalizing force among women, wherever they may be, whichever part of the world. So this was really the prototype of what we see today in a very blossomed form, and this is the basis. So this is the first finger. And then everybody said, okay, now that we are connected and we have this power of the network as well. So we are supporting each other. We are having this, Shakti Bandhan, like we celebrate. We tie bands to each other. We have this sisterhood. How can we use that to grow economically and advance, professionally or whatever work we are doing? And so came the Women Economic Forum, which became a platform where we would come, share our stories in a very storytelling format. And all our platforms have sort of demystified everything for everybody. So it's
Yes.
been for everyone, that there's
Yes.
leadership in everyone, there's potential in everyone. No matter where you are, what you're doing, you can just come on board with what you have, and we can evolve from there. We can all evolve from there. And so
So
the Women
everybody is
Economic Forum
invited.
came about.
Everyone.
And now in December, when we are having the G100 meetings for launching the 100 recommendations to the G20 India presidency, it's at the 84th edition of the Women Economic Forum. So that's the second platform. So this was Sisters Beyond Borders, this
So,
is Business
Dr.
Beyond
Harbeen,
Borders, and so on.
just about the ALL platform, is it something you started in India, or has it already been spread since 2011 around the world for the ALL?
Well, certainly it was much more in India, but equally it started moving around. So if we had, like, say, in India, the sense of numbers is completely different than the rest of the world. But definitely, we have a chapter in Morocco also for
Yes.
the
Ah,
longest time of the All
yeah.
Ladies League, and it was everywhere. And that is why
Amazing.
people said, how can we reach out to other chapters? There are sisters with this circle.
Very
But sense
nice.
of community in India and certain other countries is a little more than in some countries of the West, for
Mm,
instance, where the idea of community is a little different. And
mm,
so wherever the idea of community was a little stronger, it thrived more there. And then
mm.
the Women Economic Forum came, which thrived almost in every community, because then we were talking about business opportunities,
Right.
which was accessible to a lot of people who were not in the community concept, but definitely looking at commerce, as.
Mm,
So we just went through every approach.
mm.
And we said, it doesn't matter what we are looking for, every approach can become the highway and the
Oh,
pathway
yes.
to get women together and get us into
I
this
love
solidarity beyond borders. And so
mm,
it's been a consistent, non-stop, relentless, tireless, loving effort of thousands and thousands of women around the world who felt called to be part of this momentum and movement. And we are here, we're still here. And we've just, in December, at the G100 meetings, G100 meetings, we are launching the LGOS. You're
I love
francophone,
that.
so
Sure.
L
Yeah.
is a woman. L, sorry, I'm mirroring it again.
El
L is woman,
Gos.
and
Yes.
Gos is children. Like degas, like you see
Oui,
in
it's
French,
children, c'est
colloquially
les gosses
degas.
en français.
So
Yes.
it's women and children at the center of recovery, but each letter means something.
Mm.
Because I studied at the Sorbonne, so there's always this little thing of the French
So you have
connection
some
somewhere. But
français in you.
it just, I had these words and I wanted them to mean something, so it becomes easy to remember.
That's
As
true.
children,
Yeah.
we used to always, when we had some long things to remember, at least I would do that to remember it. To, like, how do I remember 10 points of something?
True.
I would make these
Yes.
acronyms. So
Yeah.
when you're sitting in the examination, you recall the
I
acronym, and with
remember
that, you recall
that's
everything else. It was like a
I had
mnemonic.
the same thing. I remember to remember the table of this chemistry, Liebe Knoffen. Yeah, I remember that thing.
Correct. Same way, same way.
That's so
So this
funny.
is a mnemonic LGOS, which, like,
Yeah.
E stands for education, L for legislation, another L for leadership,
Yes.
empowerment, governance, ownership, security, security, sustainability, solidarity, and equality. So those are the 10 elements, 10 principles, and we write 100 recommendations in the LGOS framework, which is universal principles and practices for gender equality and empowerment towards peace, parity, and prosperity of all. And we hope in the future it will become a global index, a global gender equality index
Sure.
as well.
Yes.
But to that, we're putting ourselves to some work. So this is a result of the 30 consultations we've had so far in 29 countries. In fact, the
Wow.
one in December is the 30th consultation. But we put together
Incredible.
everything as part of our learnings, and these were the common themes that came about in all these meetings, whatever culture you were from, whatever country. And we put under each 10 sub points, 10 recommendations. And each recommendation can have multiple aspects as well. So it's like a bouquet of recommendations.
Yes. I
And
love that.
we will, continue to have a version every year. keep updating it, reflecting on it based on the consultations we have. But also, as the G100, we're a huge community, so each wing can have one project which is tapping into one of the LGOS recommendations. So
Mm.
100 wings, 100 projects. And then we have partners. So one of our sisters said it so nicely today. She said we can out-create the status quo. Like we always say, you
Yes,
can outwork, So she said we have so many infinite possibilities with the G100 model, now with these recommendations and all the 100 consultations we are doing. We're completing 30 this year, and we've already planned multi-country meetings, 16 countries for West Africa, 17 countries for Latin America, and some others that are there, and I hope Morocco at
yes,
some point. So, the possibilities are infinite. We continue, and we've got the men on board, the
I
denim club,
know. I know. The
the club
denim
of
plum, I
e-fishy
thought that was
champions.
such an incredible idea because a lot of men are championing this women's mission. And I think it's wonderful that you have a structure for them so that they feel, they are officially a part of it. I love that.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. What I like is, like, every time I'm talking about the Elgos to a lot of people, I was discussing it with one of the sisters that offer sometimes the language we use can either include or alienate or render people indifferent.
Mm,
But and each age has to reinvent its language, its
always.
words, and this is our document of the decade. It is something we work on as a community from all our 5 platforms, but it is also something where we want to get a lot of actors and players
Hmm.
into enabling gender equality by
Incredible. Of
using words that are really inclusive, and
course.
in this, you see, we cover almost everything, every aspect of society. When somebody went through it and said, oh my God, these 100
This
covers
is
everything.
everything.
So it's our basic unit of that multiplier effect, but onboarding a lot of actors, a lot of men, definitely, and a lot of other people, institutions who may not see themselves as focusing on gender equality, but they can come in through any of
Into one of
these,
these.
and anything
Yes.
they can come through,
Mm,
and anything that they do is going to be contributing for creating an open and
yes.
empowering and uplifting, elevating space for
I love that.
gender equality. So
Absolutely.
it's getting a lot of people on board who are not traditionally part of the gender equality work as such.
I think that's such a brilliant idea because a lot of people sometimes they feel like I'm not going to talk about gender equality, but I talk about all the other things. It's just music to their ear, and you are able to gather and integrate all of those movements. I think what's admiring about your work, Dr. Harbeen, is the amount of women that are standing together, and I'm one of them, right? Because we walking towards one direction, and that's the you are representing the new era of leadership where with so much empathy, with so much feminine energy, we go and we walk together. Together we rise, together we thrive, together we make a difference in the world. And I just love that about you. Mm. So, my question is, what is the drive for you? What is that first spark that made you feel this is what you want to do? Because I want you to share that for young women, for other women who are dreaming to create something and they feel like it's overwhelming, it's too hard.
I think it's a journey, my sister. We start from wherever we are, and I don't know at what point it. There were a couple of very spiritually, deeply, deeply felt moments that I felt that I was onto something where you're being pushed
Mm.
by a higher power.
Yeah.
That you're an instrument, and I always say I'm very blessed to be doing what I do.
Yes.
And I think it's something that has been happening for the past decade, resetting the balance, and we
Mm.
are part of that story. Our generation is part of that journey, just as a few generations before us, preceding us. We stand on their shoulders, their hard work, and we just continue that work. But yes, I think it's like a story, right? Somewhere the bigger picture ties into the personal of the protagonist. But that's
Mm.
not just for me, that's
No,
for everybody
for
who's part of
everyone,
it. That's
of
for you,
course.
that's for
Yes.
every global
Oh, yes.
share, that's for every member, that's for every sister who's
Oh, yes.
somewhere part of an all ladies league sisterhood circle. Somewhere it's connecting to a personal question, a personal struggle, a personal
Personal
journey, and
story.
that it continues to be. But rather than probably having a clear idea then, I have a clear idea now. So
Mm,
it's more like, what would you say to your younger self? What would you do? If you would look back, it's the journey has made us all stronger, bolder, clearer, more emphatic about what we want, and standing together in this unity gives you the courage to
mhm.
speak out, to
I love
speak
that.
up for things that you would
You wouldn't.
otherwise earlier
Mm,
maybe internalize or ignore,
mm,
or just think, oh, that's how it's meant to be. But
mm.
now you have that courage to question everything
Yeah.
and nurture the rebellion within,
Yeah.
which is the good one, the good rebellion, because we're not wanting to fight with anybody. We
No,
are just
never.
asking for our
Better.
rightful space under the
Mm,
sun to live and thrive and dream and be and
mm.
become with respect, esteem, and dignity.
Nice.
And that's still a far cry for a lot of young girls, a lot of
Yes.
women.
Mm.
And it's not like I am saving anybody. I am just doing my job. I am, first of all, helping myself live
Mm,
a better life, become a
mm.
better human being. And by that token, if I'm able to radiate through my example, by walking the
Yes.
talk, through being the
Yes.
person that I am in every relationship, in every rapport, and still a work in progress, like all of us are, have
We
been, will
all are.
be.
We all.
And
Yeah. Yes.
so if that sort of puts me into places where I can use the power of my position, my privilege, in whatever way I can
And
to
your influence, I think the word is influence because that's what it is. You influencing yourself through your thoughts and through all the community. And by
yeah, but
walking,
I don't seek to influence. That's the thing. I mean, I know,
okay,
I understand what you're saying, and I'm also influenced by a lot of sisters, but
you're
I wish
influenced
to
by your
keep the
own mission.
purity of the humility as the
Yes,
person in the picture,
yes,
and tell everybody that everybody has influence, that
of
I can
course.
learn from anybody, even if they are not like a leader or an influencer. But if I'm receptive and I'm open and I'm seeking, I can
Yes,
get my lessons of a lifetime
I
in
love
one
that.
interaction with somebody.
I love that. That is so beautiful. It is so beautifully said. And when I said influence, a leader by definition lead herself or himself first. You start with your own leadership. And when you lead yourself through your story, through the work you do, through your mission, because that's such a big and honorable mission, you are influencing your own self into driving the movements for you, for your beliefs. And everyone is doing the same things. All those leaders that we are all together holding hands towards this very mission, we are walking the same way. And I think this walk together, that's what makes a difference. You added one important word when you were saying it's about courage. And courage, we often seek it outside. And I think that's this community, this network, this beautiful weave of work that you've made brings that courage to people, to women who don't see where they can get it from. And more we speak about it, more we will give that courage to other women so that they can empower themselves and they can empower others. I love that. Maybe that's something you can add into these big values, which is the finding the courage somewhere, because that's what makes a difference.
Yes, yes, absolutely, my sister. It was one of the things we did when we started. And it was one of the questions and queries, sincere queries of one friend who's now part of the denim club as well. Charlie, I'm trying, the video is mirroring me, so I'm trying to move my finger in the right way. So he's part of the denim club. He's in the top 10 strategic thinkers in the world. And he asked me when we were starting, and when I told him, we want to create a worldwide web of women, like the WWW of women,
Yeah.
the Wi-Fi of women, the internet of women,
Uh-huh.
where we can tap into, a sister's skill, her strength, her support, wherever we are. and whichever part of the world we come from, we just need to connect from our identities as women, as sisters. Of course we bear other identities, but a network where we can just foreground this identity, because that's what we share in common
Mhm.
wherever we come from. And very sincerely, he asked me a very strategic question, sincere question, simple question, and which we then sought out to answer, and
Uh-huh.
which is what gave us our code of conduct. And the question was, how will you keep it together?
Mm.
So
Yes.
we said, okay, yes, you need something to keep it together,
Exactly.
and more importantly, keep away those things which are going to not keep it together, which are going
Mhm.
to become a challenge in it being together.
Mm.
Therefore, we brought about a code of conduct, which we put on our website.
Oh.
Simply, if you ask me in one line, the code of conduct, there's a
Yes.
thumb rule which says all positivity, no negativity. You
I
know,
love that.
and then
That's
we figured it out.
perfect.
We
Yeah,
figured it out.
excellent.
We figured it
That's
out.
it.
We've
Yeah.
got this, thumb rule,
Perfect.
and whatever
Yeah.
we need to resolve, however we need to negotiate, whatever we need
It's
to manage,
positive.
we go
Yeah.
figure.
That's it.
But that's it. That's it. We try. We try.
Yeah.
We're humans.
Yeah.
We are embedded in the fabric of life. So it's not like we are going to become this bubble, which is completely different
No.
and plastic. No,
No.
we are
No.
embedded in society. We will have our challenges,
Mm.
but we keep this very this positive thought,
Mm.
this spirit of be positive,
Mm.
always alive by keeping up the inspiration. You know,
Yes.
so we
Yes.
always say, you can always. It's like a picnic. It's all platforms are free. So you can just bring whatever you
Bring whatever
want
you
to the
can.
picnic.
Yes.
Yeah,
No.
whatever you
Yeah.
can.
No
It doesn't have to
pressure.
be a thing. It
Yeah.
can be, sometimes it's better. Forget the thing. You just bring yourself, bring your
Yes.
song, bring your sunlight, bring your smile, bring your shine,
Yes.
bring your encouragement, bring your admiration, bring your
Yeah.
appreciation. Those are great, great
Of
sources of
course.
energy. Those are currency,
Those,
very
yes.
powerful currency to enable that energy to emerge from the person who's receiving it and give
Yeah.
it back to you
And to
manifold.
radiate all this energy, because you bring it, it radiates throughout the world. And that's what you are demultiplying. It just compounds itself. I mean, all this women come in with all this positivity. And I'm going to add another word that you have in this beautiful network or community, which is love. The love for each other, the empathy, the caring. And that's what I feel and I sense, and that's what made me fall in love with this whole, growing community. And I see Ines, who is representing Ines, Croatia, who just sent a message saying how beautiful. I see all these women connecting with us, and it's really this love for a better future for all of us, this love for each other, this empathy, this humanness. And that's what we crave, positive thoughts. But when you integrate or you cover it all with love, we can go so far away. We can bring that lighten us all. And when you lighten, you radiate through it and it becomes contagious. And this is what I feel this whole thing is representing.
So beautiful. And it's so important that we can talk about love in the same breath as leadership and
Yes.
not see it as something different or even divorced from
No.
it, to put our body, heart, mind together in its fullness, wholesomeness, oneness into whatever we do, because that's what we are,
Mm.
wholesome, awesome beings. And that's what all also stands for. All of it, we are all at multiple levels. It means multiple things, but we can bring all of ourselves to whatever we are doing. And it's this fragmentation, the woundedness,
Mm.
the separateness within us in society that causes the wound in the first place, which needs
Yes.
and necessitates the
Mm.
healing.
Mm.
And that always and always comes with love.
Always come with love. I think we start with love and we end with love in this beautiful leadership sphere. Oh, this is
Beautiful.
amazing. Yes.
It's the circle, that the square. Like you have the square of the leadership with the organizational skills, and then the square is in the circle of love.
Yes, it
you know.
is. It's so
So
true.
they have to
It's inside
expand
it.
and be animated in relation together all the time. Like we
Mm,
say, the Shiva and the Shakti, the masculine and the feminine. They
right.
have to be in divine balance, in divine communion, in divine mutual respect all the time.
All the time. That's so beautiful. So we've let's finish the five things. So we talked about the wings, we talked about all, you talked about WEF. What are the two
And
others?
then we have a platform called Wiki, which is the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and
Okay.
Industry, which is for advocating policies beyond borders, because we have like 120 bilateral business councils as well. In many countries, it's become the business chamber of women, because in
Mm,
many countries there aren't no business chambers. There
that's
aren't
true.
any business chambers which are specifically
Okay.
for women entrepreneurs. But we started this in India. And then we have the She Economy, which is an app and a platform
Okay.
for on board. So women from everywhere in the world, whoever have small businesses, big businesses, they sell products, they have services, can be onboarded on the She Economy, and we can do trade beyond borders.
Wonderful. This is amazing. Congratulations for all the beautiful work. And thank you so much for the amazing work you're doing for the world, for women, for everyone. I know the community is growing. I think this is a good stage to invite one woman to join us as country chair, to join us as advisor, as city chair. What would you like to say to women so that who are listening to us today? There is Zahra, there are some other women, but also will on replays to join this beautiful mission and this beautiful community.
Just my message to my sisters is what I would tell my younger self today is uh, never think that whatever you have, though I was again very privileged to never think that way, but I would still tell myself that. But I think, because I think we need to remind ourselves that all the time at whatever
Mhm.
stage we are in. We tend to forget it, whether weariness of life, so it's we need that moment to remind ourselves that no matter whatever we are thinking, whatever we are doing, nothing is too small or nothing is too insignificant.
Hmm.
Everything can be this thing which is in our head or mind, that some this is very small. How, just go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. You
Yeah.
don't imagine, you really don't know the kind of ripples it's going to set off. So just seize that, whatever feeling you have, whatever you think you want to do, don't stop yourself from doing that. Just go ahead and do it. And don't worry about the outcomes. The outcomes are all interacting in some
Higher
spiritual,
level.
whatever, metaverse or whatever,
True. Yes.
in that
Yes.
sense,
Well
not the
said.
metaverse, but yeah, in some atmosphere somewhere in their own way. And the intelligence of the universe is it rounding it all off and making sure the results are optimal outcomes for everybody. So go do your bit, and in the work that we are doing, we need all hands on deck. I always say, when you are trying to push, let's say, a rock, right? And it's too heavy
Mm.
for one person to push from its place.
Mm.
Then you call another person, and then you call another
Yes.
person, and then you call another person. At some point, the force of the push, the force of the effort is going to become greater than the force of the inertia.
Mm. Yes.
So all we
And you would just
need
move.
is to keep strengthening that force, keep increasing it,
I love that.
and it doesn't matter what force you bring. Everything that you bring is going to add to it. So
Yeah.
we have to have all hands on deck, keep pushing it, keep doing whatever you think you can do personally or collectively. Find a network. It's very, very important to do that. The sooner we realize the importance of a like-hearted network, not a network that gives you stress, no,
Mm.
a network that creates
Gives
joy for
you
you. And if you don't find one, go create one. That's what I
y-
did.
exactly. Ah,
That's what you can do. I never imagined, never dreamt that we would be where we are, but
incredible.
I don't stop to sort of say, oh my God, it's such a big, powerful network, because the paradox of power is that it's like the moment you stop to think how powerful you are, you're no longer powerful in that moment, because
Yeah, you
pride
always
has taken
choose.
over and
Yeah,
you
because
stop
you
creating.
It's true, because you choose leadership over power. So whenever you are able to realize that and be aware of it, always choose leadership. And that's what you do. And that's what we all need more of, choosing leadership over power whenever we have the possibility to use power. And this way you continue on growing, you continue on a direction or evolution, inspiration, and making a difference. This is so beautiful. Dr. Harbeen, I am so delighted. It has been such a beautiful conversation. I want to invite more women to join us. If you're interested, drop the country where you're from, the sector you're interested in, so that we can invite you in and be part of this beautiful global mission.
Thank you, my sister.
Thank you for joining me. This has been delightful. And I can't wait to see you in person. We'll organize an event in Morocco soon, and so that we get some more sparks around this part of the world as well. Sending you so much love. Thank you, sister. Bye-bye to everyone.
Thank you, my sister. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us, and see you soon.